morning, Bucknutters. Welcome into the Morning Five on Friday, November 21st, 2014. I am Dave Biddle. I'm joined by the People's Champ, Matt Baxendale. Bax, you're sitting around yesterday, probably at work. You hear the news that Noah Spence might be eligible to play this season. Your reaction, young man?
My reaction was somewhere between, wait, what? And, oh, my God! So, yeah, that would be a huge deal for Ohio State. At this point in time, everybody wants to talk all season about how much it hurt Ohio State to lose Braxton Miller, right? Well, nobody wants to talk about the fact that our potential first-round pick defensive end, Noah Spence, who would have been doing everything that Bosa's doing as well in terms of getting to the quarterback this year, nobody wants to talk about he was probably our best defensive player coming back, was also out for the entire season. So this would be finally getting back one of those big-time superstar guys we expected to be a superstar before the season. And how much would it help our D-line depth? We've been complaining about this the last couple of weeks. You know, the team's playing really well, but there's been some concerns that we don't have enough bodies up front. All of a sudden, you bring Spence back in, and even if it's only for 10 or 15 plays, just a little bit of depth allows you to play guys like Frazier a little bit more. It allows you to slide Bosa down a little bit more. It allows you to rest guys a little bit more. Getting back a guy who's a potential first-round pick would be a huge thing for Ohio State, especially if they make a playoff, because then Spence has a whole month to get himself back up to a 30 or 40 play a game level. This is, in politics they talk about the October surprise. Well, in football, this is a late November surprise for the Buckeyes, and it's only going to help them.
We'll see if it materializes. To let listeners know how this went down yesterday, if you weren't aware of how all this happened, a young man named Craig Henman on Twitter, who apparently knows Noah Spence or knows someone who knows Noah Spence, put it out there that he was hearing that Noah Spence would be reinstated this year, and he heard it might be as early as this week against Indiana, and a few other people said this guy is very credible. So I checked in with the source, and the source told me that Noah's not going to play this Saturday, but he does have a hearing scheduled for Tuesday, his appeals hearing, and both the Spence camp and Ohio State is confident, or at least hopeful, I was given both words, confident and hopeful, that they will win the appeal, and that Noah may, now, who knows how long it'll take for the appeal to come back. Will he be eligible for the Michigan game? I don't know, but it sounds like maybe there's a chance he'd be back for the Big Ten championship game, possibly the Michigan game, although it could take some time to decide that. The rationale I'm hearing there is 12 games served, really 13 games if you count the Orange Bowl last year, and, that's really the punishment then fits the crime. I think, this is a guy that was popped for basically taking steroids, even though he didn't take steroids. He was taking a recreational drug, tested positive for amphetamines. So we'll see. I just want to be clear about this. He has not been reinstated, and there's no guarantee that he will be reinstated. All he has is an appeals hearing, and as we know, a lot of times the school is very confident about something that doesn't go their way. Right, Gene Smith, when you're not going to get a bowl ban, and then Ohio State gets a bowl ban. So I want to be clear about that. Everybody's hopeful about it, but we won't know, and I don't even know if we're going to know Tuesday or Wednesday. Just the hearing is that. I don't know how many days it's going to take for the ruling to come down, but Bax, I just want to let the listeners know and be clear about that. But it's still good news. And like I said, the Spence camp is confident. Ohio State is confident. So if I had to guess right now, I think he'll be back later this year. But I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't bet on it. But if I had to guess, I think it's trending that he will be back, probably for the Big Ten championship game and hopefully the playoffs.
You had to bring up the Tax Slayer Bowl, didn't you? You had to bring it up.
All it did, Bax, was cost Ohio State a chance to play in the national championship the following year when they would have played
against Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame. They would have won the national championship. Yes.
Yeah. Bring that up again. Thanks, Biddle. Ruin my morning.
Hey, just focus on Noah Spence might be coming back. That'll help your morning. He might.
I'll try to be the optimist here.
Okay, so there we go. Switching gears, Indiana game. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, we better focus on Indiana. Indiana's really good, and they got a good running back." It's like, here's the deal with Indiana. Okay, Ohio State's favored by 35 points. Yes, Indiana has a very good running back. Tevin Coleman's an outstanding running back, one of the best in the country. It's going to be okay, Buckeye fans, if he gets some yards, maybe even a couple touchdowns. Why? Because Indiana's defense will also be playing. They're ranked 90th in the country in total defense. I look for Ohio State to win this one easily. 55-17 is my prediction, so I have them covering this vast point spread. Again, 55-17 Buckeyes. Bax, you have a prediction you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I don't even think they're going to get to 17. This is Indiana team last week against Rutgers that had Tevin Coleman run for 300 yards and still only put up 23 points in a losing effort. They're a team that before the season, all of us thought, oh, man, look at that passing game. They got some ability on offense. Shane Wynn, Urban Meyer talked about him 17 times yesterday on his call-in show. but their starting quarterback, Nate Sudfeld, got hurt after they upset SEC East leading Missouri, so thank you, Indiana. That's one we're going to throw out there a lot. But their backup quarterback's transferred, not expecting it to get a chance to play. They've been playing a guy who they wanted a red shirt originally this year at quarterback. And their offense is literally give the ball to Coleman and hope. Their defense is literally, sure, just go score. If we need to get the ball back to Tevin Coleman. They're a team that has just been a huge disappointment this year on almost every level for me. And Tevin Coleman, as spectacular as he is individually, there's only so much you can do. And we've seen Ohio State in the past go against offenses where, like, they literally can't do anything but run the ball, and that top tailback gets shut down. So this is also a great team to sort of get some atonement for last week's performance against David Cobb. Tevin Coleman's equally as good. But if you thought Minnesota's passing game was bad right now, you should see Indiana's. I think the Buckeyes are going to run away with this one. We're looking at something like a 49-10 or a 56-10 kind of game. And this is one of those games where you get the starters out of the lineup in the third quarter. The game's way out of hand, and you just get yourselves ready for the big game the week after because there's a rivalry game waiting for us, and then there's a Big Ten championship game. The only thing this game's going to do is serve for the Buckeyes to clinch that spot in Indianapolis.
I want to let the listeners know Big Ten Network is going to do a special piece on the 1996 Ohio State Buckeyes. It'll air this Sunday at 9 o'clock Eastern on Big Ten Network. Big Ten Elite 1996 Ohio State. Very exciting. For those that remember, this is very dear to my heart. This is when I was a student at Ohio State, and that's when the Silver Bullet era started. In 1996, Fred Puckett took over as the defensive coordinator, coined the term the Silver Bullets, and it was a completely different defense. I mean, Bill Young the year before giving up all those yards of Biaka Batuka and that team up north, well, it was a different story in 96. They did go to the Rose Bowl. We won't mention what happened when they played that team up north. Other than that, it was a great year, and I'll be doing a review for the site later today on Big Ten Elite. I have not seen the piece yet. I'm really looking forward to watching it, and it's a half hour long. So Big Ten Elite 1996 Ohio State. Again, I'll do a review for the site later today.
Dave, you're just killing me today when it comes to bringing up bad memories of the past. First started with Gene Smith in the bowl game, and now you're talking about Bill Young, the worst defensive coordinator in Ohio State history.
Oh, tell me about it, man. I didn't even really know that much about Fred Puckett. I just knew he couldn't be any worse than Bill Young. Turns out he was really, really good. And it's too bad Ohio State didn't win a national championship one of those years. 96, 98, excellent teams. 95, they were very good as well. 93, they were good. But 96 might have been the best of the bunch. And, again, I'll have a review on the site of Big Ten Elite 1996 Ohio State. Again, Big Ten Network will air that 9 o'clock p.m. on Sunday Eastern Time. Thanks again to the People's Champ, Matt Baxendale. Thanks to all the listeners out there. Hope you have a great weekend. Take it away, best damn band in the land.